New question, the member from Ajax Pickering.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Economic Development and Growth. We know the Minister has been a tireless advocate for the establishment of Rouge National Urban Park for nearly 30 years. He's planted trees there endlessly alongside some of our other caucus members and many supporters of the park. Protecting green spaces in one of Canada's most populated and culturally diverse metropolitan area, the Greater Toronto area, is no easy task, but it's one of the great importance to our government. We have been leaders in establishing and expanding protected areas, part of the Greenbelt, Oak Ridges, Moraine, and the Niagara Escarpment, to name a few. Mr. Speaker, we continue to work together with municipalities to ensure that our cities and towns grow sustainably. Everyone can enjoy the natural beauty of our province to hike, bike, swim, paddle, and even camp. Minister, a week ago you were at Hunter Memorial Park to make an important announcement. Could you please give us and provide us more information about this great news? Thank you.
Thank you. Minister of Economic Development and Growth.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the member and all the members from the legislature that attended that really emotional event that we had about a week or so ago, and public representatives from all three levels of government were there, Indigenous leaders, staff from Parks Canada, as well as advocates and community groups and environmental groups that have worked on this matter for almost 30 years, Mr. Speaker. And indeed, this is rather personal to me because I was a staffer here 30 years ago when I began working on this issue. So I want to thank the Premier and my colleague, the Minister of Infrastructure, for allowing me to carry this file over the finish line. It really was an honour for me to be there a week Saturday to make this announcement that indeed we are transferring 1,600 acres of environmentally sensitive lands to Parks Canada so that future generations will enjoy this natural oasis in the middle of our city, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Minister, for that information, and once again for being such a strong champion of this park and ensuring the condition for ecological integrity was met. I know it's a tough fight, but it was worth it to see the incredibly diverse natural area receives the strongest protection. Mr. Speaker, it's my understanding that the park is now close to 80 square kilometres, which is 23 times bigger than Central Park in New York and 50 times bigger than High Park in Toronto. The park now links Lake Ontario to the Oak Ridges Moraine, and it is Canada's first ever national urban park. The Canadian and Ontario governments, Indigenous peoples, environmental groups and farmers all work together to make the most of a rare opportunity to protect precious green space to the edge of the country's biggest city for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, there are so many exciting things for us to explore to do in the Rouge. What is the best way for individuals and families to enjoy the park and learn about its many treasures?
Thank you. Minister.
To the Minister of Education, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Education.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to rise in the House and to talk about the Rouge National Urban Park. And I want to say thank you to the member from Oak Ridges Markham, as well as the member from Scarborough Centre, who was there as this park was being transferred to the federal government in terms of the final details. Mr. Speaker, Elder Sue, who was there, said that Rouge Park has retained its splendour, and indeed it has. And the students at the University of Toronto Scarborough campus have developed the Rouge app. La Rouge, Mr. Speaker. This app developed by entrepreneurs who are part of a program called The Hub, which is an incubator, Mr. Speaker, that's developing innovative programs, have really developed a remarkable system to navigate the park and to really explore its splendor. And Mr. Speaker, I would encourage all members of the House to download this app and to visit the Rouge National Urban Park. And thank you so much to the member for Scarborough Centre.
Thank you.